Welcome to Disciples Ignited YouTube channel, where we focus on Jesus, advance his kingdom, and prepare his disciples. I'm David Fleming, and I want to invite you to join with me as we get into God's Word. And I'm going to make these videos short, less than 5 minutes each. And we're going to just share some thoughts from God's Word that I really believe are going to help you in your own personal walk with Jesus. Now, we're studying about the life and ministry of David, and we started yesterday giving you a little bit of background of Prophet Samuel and King Saul, that both had a lot to play in David's life. But today we're going to talk about, why did God choose David above everybody else to replace King Saul? Well, we'll find that it was because of David's heart. Let me give you 3 scriptures. First of all, 1 Samuel 13:14, where Prophet Samuel is prophesying to King Saul. He says, "But now your kingdom will not endure. The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart." Now, the same Hebrew word is used in another case. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. "But the Lord said to Samuel, the Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Now, these are both the same Hebrew word, but we'll find that this is also spoken of in the New Testament in Acts chapter 13, verse 22. "After removing Saul, he made David their king. God testified concerning him, 'I have found David, son of Jesse, a man after my own heart.'" Now, these Hebrew cases and the New Testament, they're really speaking of the same thing. They are speaking of the heart of man being the center of man's life. It's his inner person. The heart of man is his inner self, the seat of his thoughts, his emotions, his conscience, his mind, his desires. It is what makes you, you. So they speak really of the same thing. I think it will be helpful for us to look at the heart of man as the business center of your life. Now, we know that every corporation has a top executive, the top CEO, and then he has his board members. Well, who is the top executive of your heart? That's what set David apart from everybody else, especially King Saul. That's why God chose David above King Saul, because the top executive of David's heart was the Lord himself. The Lord said, "He has a heart that is desiring me, hungry after me. He has a heart after me." Whereas who was the CEO of Saul's heart? Well, it was Saul himself. Saul wanted to call the shots. See, Jesus really wants to be the chairman of the board of your heart. 1 Peter chapter 3:15 tells us, "But set Christ apart as Lord in your heart." Now, whoever is chairman of your heart is going to govern your heart. He's the top executive. Now, when Jesus is chairman of the board, he's going to start circumcising your heart. He's going to get rid of all the trash. Any other board members that are up to no good, he's going to deal with them. That's right. And who are these other board members in your heart? Well, it's your mind, it's your emotions, it's your desires, it's what motivates you to do what you do. So Jesus is going to start circumcising your heart. And you can tell who is really the chairman of the board of your heart by what comes out of your mouth. Oh, yes, you can. Jesus told us in Matthew chapter 12, verse 34, "For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of." So who's the chairman of the board of your heart? Well, you can tell by what is coming out of your mouth. So we're going to study more about this and why God chose David. Because the Lord was the chairman of his heart. He was the top executive of David's heart. And we can tell it by what's coming out of David's mouth. Let's get more into it tomorrow as we continue on our study of the life and ministry of David.